What up, world? It's your boy GM, Talkingshift. I got my boy with me today, my boy Brian, aka by his producer name, Nomadic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
No doubt.
Pleasure to be here. For real, for real.
Sure.
Appreciate
I've been
it.
trying to get you in here for a minute.
I
Cool
know, man.
minute.
Yeah, but we here now, so it's good. That's all that matters. But yeah,
I was super slow motion. I was in my bunker all of COVID. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna just chill.
Yeah, man. I didn't have that happen to me. Like
I know. You was
you
essential.
Know, yeah, essential. Working. Getting these people to and from work. So it's good though. I mean, I'm just happy I have a job. So
100%.
A lot of people are like suffering right now, and my heart goes out to that because that shit ain't no joke. You know what I mean? The whole economy just like messed up. But
we blessed.
Yeah,
we blessed.
I'm blessed, so that's why
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, hey, man, welcome in. It's your first time with us.
Appreciate it.
I like to always kind of go back in history, especially on the first go around here and dig into who you are, your background, what you do.
Okay.
So let's start, even before how'd you get the name Nomadic, man?
Okay. So basically, kind of got to shout out my older cousin. She, so it's two ways. It's a she. Yeah. She's Nomadic one. That's her at on the gram or whatever.
Okay.
But she uses it differently. She's a registered nutritionist.
Okay.
And so it has a different meaning for her, but I just like the way it sounded. But I knew what nomad was through Sons of Anarchy.
Hey,
basically,
the
right?
Nomad Club.
The Nomad Club, you know what I mean?
That's
you
my
get all
show.
You get all that verbiage from there.
Yeah.
But I really dug into the meaning because I just already liked the way it sounded. It's got to have that sound to it.
It had the ring for you.
Yeah, ring for me. And then basically I read, online, Google, wherever, you get your information now. But basically a nomad is like a vagabond, but it's a person that could go from tribe to tribe, if you want to look at it that way, like tribe to tribe. And then even though he doesn't have a home base like tribe, he gets along with everybody else. And I kind of incorporated that with myself because ever since I was younger, through school and everything like that, since I bounced around a lot, I went to 7 different schools.
Damn.
I was always able to fit in and talk to the in crowd, the jocks or the geeks or the nerds or the emo.
It was kind of like me in high school.
Or I'll talk to the nerdy girls or the in girls. You
was just down with everybody.
Everybody. I never discriminated or anything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's how I move. I never was part of a group. I was never be I was in the in crowd or I was a jock or anything like that.
So where did you actually grow up?
That's like I said, since I moved 8 times, but mostly the Peninsula.
Okay.
For sure.
Were you born up here?
Yeah, I was born in Palo Alto.
Okay.
I was born at Stanford Hospital.
Nice.
But definitely moved around a lot through every city. But main cities: San Mateo, Daly City, and San Bruno.
Okay.
Those 3.
Okay.
But I reside now in Daly City, and that's where most of my family. It's San Francisco and Daly City.
You around a bunch of Filipinos, huh?
Yeah, all the time, man.
I got a bunch of family up there.
Yeah. Nah, it's all love, man. So it's all my padres. All my padres.
All the padres, hey, 100%.
Yeah,
shout out.
Yeah, nah, it's all love and a great culture. Hella loving. So it gets down with that. But yeah, so I moved around. That's how I was nomad, and then I was nomadic is the form of being a nomad. So I was like. That has a ring to it, stuck, and then I was like, it's me. I could go around anywhere, and then, not to toot my own horn, but people around that I become friends with, they tell me that they're like, man, you could be anywhere and just talk to anybody. You're not really
I got that vibe from you.
Shut off to anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
how did I meet you the first time?
Fuck. I know how.
It's weird sometimes.
I know how we met through. We met through Danny and all them from. Root Reality.
Okay.
And then, but who was it? The one that really?
Maybe Joe.
I think it might have been Joe.
I think
it was Joe or Danny. I think it might have been Danny.
Okay.
The first time I went to your house and I met you.
Okay.
I think so. It was just on some peep out my beats and stuff like that and all that stuff. And then I was at that point I was in a group also producing there, and I was kind of early on because they were already, a full-on group, but I was trying to get in also, and they were producing for Root Reality too, like
Okay.
through my peoples through them. But yeah, just like that.
All
Things like
over.
that,
You really are a nomad.
yeah, try to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about. So I always ask this, and for people that haven't figured it out, like in college, I was a anthropology major.
Oh,
So a cultural anthropology. I love different cultures, which is
okay.
kind of like why Talking Shift, why this whole idea came around. Like I really wanted to meet people and just talk about different cultures
Yeah,
and music and hip hop and the Bay Area. They're all just
for sure, for sure.
subcultures of
Yeah.
they're just subcultures in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me a little bit about your background, like your heritage, where you come
Okay.
from, where your family
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
from.
No,
What you know about that?
I'm Salvadorian from El Salvador.
Okay.
Uh,
Trucho.
yeah. And just basically, my mom was born over there, came here like around, I think she was like 8 or something like that. But like my whole family Salvadorian. Like we like married into like different cultures as well. So I get that too. I love different cultures. But
Mhm.
like both my parents were Salvadorian,
Okay.
full bred Salvadorian. So, but yeah, like beautiful culture, man. From the food, the helping people. Third world countries, everybody helps each other out because that's all you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the very strong family. Like I got that. I got my music probably from my grandma, and she's just like always like listening to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was early on. All I heard was Latin stuff, like
Yeah.
Latin music. Like that's what I think. To hit on another note, like when it comes to this like hip hop stuff and
Yeah.
like uh knowing all these old school like rap artists or whatever, I had to teach myself all that. Even like also just like American music, like I had to teach myself all that. Like I never had somebody that's like, oh, they played this Marvin Gaye when I was growing up. Like
Yeah.
my mom and my grandma didn't play
That's
shit like that. They played merengue, salsa, Latin shit. Like what I
You wouldn't
mean?
know that listening to your music
Yeah,
because a lot of what I wouldn't say you're like completely sample based.
But I am. I don't
Okay.
take no offense to that. Like I
Yeah.
know now that I'm growing more like I know what my niche is. Like I know it's sampling.
So
Like
it is all
yeah,
samples.
it is
Okay.
mostly
Okay.
all samples. But I take pride in like for sure having some cutty ass samples.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like straight up like the Temptations every sample. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
I love the old school.
Not
I
down in
came up with
anybody
the
that
old
does. Yeah,
school
not down in
music.
anybody that does it. But I'm saying like the reason why I want some cutty stuff is because the same reason why I love sampling is because I feel like that I call that the bridge, like it's the bridging the gap between eras where that's what it did for me when I came into hip hop. Like I was like listening to Nas, Jay-Z, all them, and then like even older heads and that, like, but they're sampling their beats. I'm like, what was that from? And that made me go research, do my homework, and then I found out like, oh, this is from certain like old school like the Temptations or something like that, or Marvin Gaye,
It's
or
like the modern day digging through the
yeah,
crates.
exactly. And then that just opened up my catalog to a whole bunch of other oldies that, like I said, I didn't get a early on exposure to because I don't have nobody like that like to be like, oh yeah, they played the oldies. Like they would play the oldies, but like the Latin oldies, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I mean, yeah, every so often you can't not run into a Marvin Gaye as you're growing up. Like, of course I've heard it, like, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like, it wasn't that like personal, like where I knew my mom was playing that, you know what I mean?
See,
She,
I was lucky. Like my dad was a musician in
see,
like the
yeah,
70s, 80s, um, early 90s. So, and he was doing like old school R&B in the 80s, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
see, that's
So
dope.
so I was lucky like when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
my dad put me onto everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see,
So,
I wish I had that.
and my
Like, no
mom,
lie.
and my mom
Yeah, I wish I
too.
had that. Like, and no lie though, but I mean, I did get put on, but just in a different way. I
Yeah.
got my Latin stuff, like certain shit that people wouldn't know about. You know what I mean? And then like
I never heard of.
that's what I'm trying to incorporate now. Like, go back to the essence and like, dig through those crates. Because I mean, right now is the time with the music how it's moving. Like, there's a lot of Latin influence in the hip hop and like reggaeton. Everything's like meshing back together. Like, Cardi B's like one of the hottest things out.
Yeah.
Her shit's all Latin based too. Like, people are messing with like Nicki Jams and all that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's getting more popular And I mean, there's always been a Latin essence in hip hop, you know, from Big Pun and everybody else, like different like rap artists. But definitely, it's like a little thing I got like in my back pocket that I can go to that I never thought of doing, but now it's like looking more like that could be done. You know what I mean?
So you were talking about earlier that your family's from El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends, you know, he passed away
I'm sorry.
just under a year ago. You know, rest in peace, Raul Chavez, my boy. I miss you.
Yeah.
But that was my
man.
boy, man. That was my brother. We grew up on the same block since we were
Okay.
like 6 years old, and he was Salvadorian too, man. He
Okay.
was
Nice,
you know what I
man.
mean. But you know, for a lot of people, you know, especially like not everybody's from the Bay where we have all these cultures put together, right? They might think a Latino is just like a Mexican, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So give me like a little bit of history about El Salvador, because that is a wild place. It's a
Alright.
great place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's a violent place, and it's got
Yeah, no.
but it's got, you know, it's
I
like
mean,
any third world country.
For me,
you know what I mean?
you know, for me, yeah, third world country, but of course, what everybody
Philippines gets
yeah,
wild
yeah,
too.
I know, right? But of course, everything right now, everybody like you
Not like
think
El
about
Salvador.
Salvador, you think about MS-13, the gang stuff going on like that, and that's like one of the wildest gangs
But
in
go
the
even
world.
before that,
But before that, like I mean,
because
for
there was a
me,
civil
like,
war,
yeah,
right?
yeah, there's civil war, like where that's the reason why my grandma told my you know my family to move over, like my great grandma. She
What
was like,
era was
no,
that
everybody
in?
like, I think it was like early '80s,
Okay,
like late '70s. I believe I'm not you know that like
that area though.
approximately like around there, but
Yeah.
like yeah, like basically it was just like everybody was getting killed. Just it was a guerrilla warfare. You know what I mean? Like the military and the government and the actual you know people were just not having it, and you know.
Who was the civil war between?
I mean, I think it was just the government and the people. I think
They were
like
fighting against each
yeah,
other.
yeah, the fighting against each other. I really gotta tap into that. Like I know like I should ask my aunts and uncles more
Mm-hmm.
about that, but I know definitely that was one of the reasons why they wanted to live. And of course, everybody wants to come to America to you know get the American dream you know going. But it's also yeah, just the living over there was harsh. Like
Mm-hmm.
my grandma actually came over here and was here for a couple of years before she could even have her children come over.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was that separation,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a thing where her mom, my great grandmother, I never met her, but was like, "No, you're going. I'm pushing you because it's like if you stay here, it's not gonna be good." Like, and then I'm so happy she did that. Like, you know, forever grateful for her, even though I never met her. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it's all love, you know, and that she got us out, and we're here now, and we're doing way better. And I mean, we still got family over there, but it's not a like the most like biggest chunk, like our immediate family, is all here.
Okay.
And like I said, that's why I only been over there once, and I was like 5, to be honest with
Dang.
you. I went there once, but it is because also that all that stigma of like it's violent out there. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be put in that situation over there. And then, but I heard it's getting better, so I'm hopefully you know in the near future I could go
Yeah.
peep it out. But even like as a kid, I still remember hell and stuff like you know like how you know real like the poverty was. Like we went to my family house and it's like photograph memory of how I remember it. Like the door was what is that like metal sheet like laminate like the
Like
door was like
I know
that.
what you're talking about.
You know what I
Like
mean? Like
siding.
yeah, it was just that. That was the door in the house. The rooms had
Yeah.
roofs, but like the hallways didn't.
Okay.
So it was like weird. I was like, what's
That
going
sounds a
on?
lot
Like,
like
you
the
know,
Philippines,
yeah.
man. That
And
sounds a
then it's
lot
like
like the
that, those
Philippines.
tin roofs, like you know what I mean? And then I remember also one of the biggest things I remember was like my older cousin. He lived in an actual walk-in safe.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's just crazy like that. And I just remember like when you
Like a
shower,
bunker.
with a shower, you have to fucking use a bucket.
That
You
was
know what I
when you were
mean?
this is all when you were
This is
like
when I was
5?
5, like when I was 5. So
Wow.
this is probably like what 93,
95?
93,
Wait,
93.
how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, okay.
I'm born in 88, so I was like 90. It was like 93, 90, 94 when I went. And then so I still remember that though. It's crazy, like you know, dirt roads and everything, stray dogs everywhere. And then I
It
remember
sounds
that,
spot on like
and
the Philippines,
I
bro.
remember that the most because up until like now that I'm older, I would always be scared of dogs. No lie,
Yeah.
just because I had upbringing. Like I was attacked by a dog when I was younger, and then
Ah,
And then my cousins who had dogs, they would, you know how cousins are. The other cousins, they make fun of you, or like
And
they'll
then mess with you.
yeah, they'll mess with me. So they put me like in a room and close the door, let the
With
dogs
the
fuck with me.
dog.
Yeah, with and I would be like hella scared. So I was like, fuck. And so that I remember that point, and I remember going like to wherever and
That's messed up.
getting a drink or something in
That's
El
cold.
Yeah, go getting a drink somewhere in El Salvador, and they put it in this little Ziploc bag with a straw. That's how you drink stuff,
They
because
do that. Yeah,
they
they'll
have to
do that.
collect the the can or the bottle to either refill it or get the 5 cents for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just everything, and then like actually to kind of connect it, you know how we've been unfortunately having these wildfires lately here or whatever. That smell, it's like the motherland. Cause you fucking they burn. That's what they do to
Okay.
get rid of their trash. Like they
Hold
burn it, so
up.
it's
This
like
is the same exact experience that I had in the Philippines. Because when all that smoke and fire was
I was
going
like,
on,
man,
I
I
was like,
smell
this
like
smells just like the Philippines.
yeah. And I was like,
That is so.
smell like El Salvador. Like it's a real distinct smell, and I'm like, what the? So it's kind of it's weird. Like, of course, you don't want it to be happening. You know what I mean? You don't want to
Yeah.
be smelling that, but it brought me back when I smelled it. It was like,
That
I was like,
is
it's just
crazy
weird.
how reminiscent that is.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's like poor countries around the world kind of have almost the same experience. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
they got the same, so almost the same habits, like of just survival.
Yeah.
It's just a survival tactics, basically.
When everything's like that, right?
Uh,
Like when there's so much hectic stuff, so much violence around, and frankly, more so than the violence, more so just the poverty. You know what I
mhm,
mean? There's lack of jobs, there's lack of security, there's lack of stability.
mhm.
You kind of rely on family. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean? Like
one hundred
that's
percent.
when family structure becomes really important. That's when, because you rely on each other so much more than, how kind of families in America
Mhm.
interact. I think a lot of people, especially kind of here in the Bay Area, some people, not a lot of people, a very select group of people kind of come from privilege, right?
Mhm.
And they don't get to experience that type of lifestyle. So their family structure, I don't know if it's as strong as the bond as people that,
Yeah.
go through struggle together.
Oh, for sure. I don't think it is. I mean, yeah, like when you're going through it, you don't see it that way because you don't struggle. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
then once you're
It's
like
just life.
older, oh yeah, once you're older, you sit and look at stuff like that, and it's just like I wouldn't change it because it's like that's what brought us together even more,
Hmm.
like for sure. And then like I said, my family's really like really glued, like together, like everybody's immediate to us. Like, you know how they say that immediate family type thing? I don't really believe it in my family as much because like all my cousins are like my brothers and sisters. Like it's not because we just always been around each other.
Hmm.
It was never like, oh yeah, I only see them at Christmas.
Yeah.
I only see them at the holidays. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been interactions between each other. Like, because at the same point, at one point, that's how our family was. Like, there was at one point, even before I was born, that our whole family was just living in one house,
Yeah.
like all aunts and uncles and their kids and everybody. So it was, we were all meshed together. Like it
Hmm.
wasn't like, oh yeah, your uncle lives over there, your aunt lives over there. No, we all, because we didn't have the money, we all lived in the small ass house. Like, you know what I mean?
That's kind of
And
the immigrant
yeah,
experience
and then
in
so then
America.
they spread out, of course, and so got there, and they everything else, and then so but we were still connected because we always still have that family house. Like, okay, that's where we're gonna have Christmas. That's where we're gonna have Thanksgiving or whatever. Like, we're gonna have somebody's party. It's gonna be at my aunt such and such's
Yeah.
house. Like, it's always together.
So you were talking about how earlier you didn't really get to have somebody always put you on to the music, especially like American music,
Hmm.
right? Um, how did you initially get into making music? Did you have any family like try to show you any
Nah,
ropes, or was this all just something
for
that you just
sure.
decided
For
to
music
do?
production, no. Like getting into music on like a singing level, yeah. So the thing for my singing level that not a lot of people know, I just added myself out. But like that's how I
I
started.
just outed
That's how
myself.
that's how I started. Like my love for music was singing. And I guess they were telling me I would sing. There's clips like since I was like 3 or 4, like singing,
Hmm.
Latin music, of course. To be more specific, Vicente Fernandez is my grandma's like favorite artist of all time. Um, and so I know like most of his songs and stuff like that. not so much now because I haven't done them in so long, but
Yeah.
in back in the day at that time, because that's all I would hear. Um, that she put me on with that. That's why I say she's the one that put me on with my stuff. And then my cousin, who I think is like the only other person in my family that could sing. Um, she yeah, she's the one that she's older, so she taught me how to like really like perfect my voice and stuff like that. Even though I
Okay.
haven't gone to any schooling still to this day, but like yeah, it's kind of like it's crazy because it's like people ask me like, do you have any other singers in your family? And not really, just that one cousin. And it was a cool little story. Like my grandma told me is like the only other person that could sing was her brother, my uncle, my great uncle, whatever. And it's crazy. He passed away, I think, the same month that I was born.
Oh,
So it was like a weird, spiritual thing, like where she's
shifted the
like
energy.
shifted the energy because he's like my grandma's like you have like almost all his like things, like he's hella good at memorizing stuff,
Yeah.
his voice, everything, and like your love for music and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, it's crazy. I wish I would have. That's who I think would have been my person who would have put me on to like
Maybe he
more,
did.
because I think he knew how to play guitar and other stuff, but I just never met him. Like he died the same month that I was born, I think.
Maybe you got some of that energy, man.
Yeah,
Maybe that
exactly.
transferred over. You didn't
Exactly.
get
I
to
hope
talk
so.
to him, so
I know, I hope so.
he sent you that game. You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I
I
mean?
hope so. You know what I mean? RP, But
How did the
yeah,
production end start?
that just fucking around, really.
Yeah.
I just like bored, and then at the same time,
Were you like
just
computer savvy?
just a little bit, not as much now. I think I was more before, but I think I kind of lost my touch. But I still know my way around. I used to be hecka big on PCs, and then Mac came, and then I went to Mac, and I feel like I got lazy
Okay.
in the savviness of because Mac's kind of pretty easy,
Straightforward.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's not really a back end to it like before, like like yeah, I would know like how to like reboot and everything, like troubleshoot stuff on the PC. But then since I went to Mac, I kind of forgot all that.
You can ask
So
Charlie. I'm
yeah,
computer dumb
yeah,
as hell.
yeah.
I'm terrible,
Nah.
bruh.
I feel that's how I am right now because I'm like running into problems. I'm like, man, how do I get around this? Like I'm trying, but like, anyways, but yeah. So the computer savviness, I forgot what it was. So I started with Fruity Loops in high school, hated it. Right? It was like 1 week in, couldn't do it but it was because I wasn't gamed up. I didn't have the knowledge that I needed
Yeah.
to start everything up. Then I went to GarageBand. It was more user friendly. You play it out. You just hit record, play it out, and then that. And then I did go to Skyline. I went for like one semester to this class they had, MIDI class they had, and they teach you on Logic.
Okay.
So I learned there and then started messing with that in the GarageBand. And then out of nowhere, I went back to Fruity Loops because I was more gamed up of like the verbiage and stuff of how to do production through the Logic class. Like I know what a MIDI keyboard was, MIDI this, and all the stuff. Like where I'm like, this is why I couldn't get anything done on Fruity Loops because I didn't have any of this equipment or like this knowledge on what to look for to start. Because I was basically on Fruity Loops, I could only do drum patterns because I was like, well, how do I put in a melody in here? How do I play something or sample something to put it in? And then I just started going to University of YouTube, and I just started
YouTube you.
Yeah, YouTube you. So I just started doing that, and then
I got a couple degrees from
yeah, I
them
know,
too.
right? I think all of us do. And so after that, it just kind of just stuck, and singing kind of took a back seat to it. But when I produce, you gotta harmonize and stuff like that to see if the beat's going. Like how would someone, rapping over it with rap and all that stuff. So that's still with me. I mean, I'll still sing here and there, but yeah, no, definitely. I just got stuck to it, and then I was just
That computer's an instrument of itself,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
That thing you gotta be proficient in. Like it's the same thing like with having a very basic knowledge of guitar or piano.
Yeah,
Like you're not gonna
like
be
I'll
able to
play
go
it by
play
ear,
Beethoven.
but I don't know what key I play, but like I'll make it sound good, like, and then like I'll play it out or whatever, and then just make it sound as crisp as I can. But yeah, but definitely and then I just started falling in love with sampling. I always had the love of that, like even before I started production. Like I was just always like, damn, that's a cold sample, like just
So who would you say are some producers that you really look up to? Like who's your inspiration? Top five.
Damn,
Who's your
top
top
five?
five?
That's crazy. I would say like Timbaland for sure is
Okay.
up there for sure. Can't forget Dr. Dre. On the sample tip though, even though I like pure music, Kanye West. Kanye West for
Okay.
sure. Kanye West got to be up there. Like it's just his whole
I
couple of
think
first albums.
I've
Like,
been saying forever. I think Kanye's College Dropout for me is probably like one of the most complete records out there.
oh, for off top, that's one of my favorite records ever.
All
Like
time.
all time.
Yeah.
Like that. But I know I'm forgetting the key producers that I go to. But like, let me see. I like Ryan Leslie too. Ryan Leslie's dope.
Hey,
But I
he's
can't do
nice.
what Ryan Leslie does. Ryan Leslie
Oh, he plays every instrument.
I'll sample the shit out of something, but I can't play no instruments for the life of me right
He
now,
plays
till now. But
everything, man, he's amazing.
yeah. But my goal is to at least master the piano, and so
Okay.
get that going. But yeah, for sure them.
That's what. That's three.
No,
That's three.
3, 4. No, it's 4. I said
That's four?
Tim,
Oh
Dr.
yeah.
Dre,
Kanye. I forgot Kanye. Ryan Leslie. One more.
Ah, man, I don't even know.
Sample heavy. Come on, give me a.
Yeah, I like Premier. No, I do, but
Is that top five though?
it's not top 5. Top 10 for sure.
Jay. Well, Jay Dillon not really.
I don't know. Jay Dilla's cool because he's in his own lane though. He's a all unquantized
That's
like
my guy.
boom bap. That's dopeness like on its own. Like I can't say no to that one, but I don't know. Like, damn, I'm kind of stuck like now.
That's a heavy spot to, you know what I mean? There's probably so many that you're trying to go through
like
your
I'm
head.
just trying to go through like what I really listen to a lot, but like I'm gonna throw one he's an artist too, but like he's dope as hell too. J. Cole.
Oh, okay.
Because he produced, what was it? Was it 2014 Forest Hill Drive? He produced the whole thing, or was the one before that? It was one. No. I think it was the one before that. It was Bill Matic. Or no, not Bill Matic.
You asking the wrong
But anyways,
guy.
but yeah, not a lot of people know that. But his production game is crazy too.
Yeah.
And you rap over yourself. Like he produced Power Trip, the one with Miguel. That's a classic. So for sure.
Dope.
But yeah, this
that's a nice list.
You
threw me for a loop at the end though,
we got Havoc, we got the Alchemist. Alchemist is
He's
shit.
Dope. He's dope.
New up and coming, I fuck tough with Cardo Got Wings. He does all of mostly all of the newer Larry June stuff. Yeah. And he produced God's Plan for Drake.
Okay.
It's dope.
Hey, well, we're going to cut to commercial break real quick. We're probably going to actually
good.
play one of your beats real quick.
All right,
and then we're going to be right back with you, all right?
Appreciate
Nomadic.
It. Hey.
Cross everything off your checklist. Can't be apprehensive. Bitch, you need a dentist. Smoke, fuck, then Netflix. She know I'm relentless. Me, her, and her best friend. They be selling that white Eve Denton. Hold up, only hoes in my section. All I did was ask questions. You just act possessive. I just stay collected. I mean, yes, I have a preference. This my drunk ass confessions. I just made it back and yo ass went to collections.
Baby, I just wanna be somebody. So emotional, be getting me in places I ain't supposed to go. Shaking hands with people I ain't supposed to know, but life is crazy. Long days and the long nights. My nigga blessed me with the off-whites. Scary movie with the strong hand. Pool party dressed in all white. Sorry if I get aggressive, that was just me being defensive. Sorry if I wasn't present, that was just a cry for attention. Sorry if I'm immature. Sorry I'm sick and I don't have a cure. Chilling with you, is that pure? Sorry I whooped you in Street Fighter. Chun-Li for sure. Put my best foot forward. I take 2 steps back. I take 2 steps forward. I take 4 steps back. I take 8 steps forward. Now she want a 16 from me, but it's all about the cream to me.
All right, we're back. We're back with my boy Nomadic.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to, we were talking about your latest project, so let's hop right into it, man. Tell me about your latest project again.
So it's a project.
Tell me the story, though, how you met these guys. It was funny.
Okay. It was just
Hey, give me that same reaction.
No, it's all love. Yeah. No, basically, I met them through my homegirl G. Shout out to G DJ Persia. She basically, we've known each other for a while. Just partying scene and just having hella mutual friends. And then so she was like, "Yo, I see you be making beats." And then she's like, you should check out my boyfriend. He raps." And I was kind of like, "Oh, okay."
That's the usual.
Like everybody knows
That's the
somebody
usual
that raps,
reaction.
right? And then,
For real, that's the
but
usual
then
reaction.
you know what? I was like, yeah, look, I'm always open to working with people. So that was the initial reaction. But it's just funny. But I mean, once we got into it,
good.
yeah, no. Once I met them dudes, it was my boy Roddy and my boy Biz, Roddy Picante and Stay Busy's RPSB. Met them and it was good. Like, we meshed well, you know what I mean? And I think we just growing hella better now, like hella more now.
Yeah.
Like we were finding our spot in our lane.
Yeah.
And, we're all growing together.
When did you start working on that project? Like, how long ago did
the one that just dropped, it's called Dxwners.
Uh-huh.
That one, let me see the actual date it dropped. It dropped last Friday. It was the 21st, August 21st.
Okay.
I think it was. Yeah, August 21st drop. Dxwners, go check that out on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. Enjoy it,
When did you start, like, how long ago did you start working on that project? Was it like a short project, a long project?
Man, to be honest with you, I mean, of course, the boys put their work in like I did with making the beats. I had a couple of them were beats I had, and some I, were influenced. That's like getting into our relationship with them, like where it was so natural and dope that they had certain samples in mind and they kick it to me, be like, flip it how you like it, whatever. But like, they also point out like what they like from the sample.
Yeah.
And I'd run with it.
Okay.
And then it would just mesh together and they were like already ready. And so, their work ethic is really good. Like I sent them a beat and like within a day they're already like, I already got my verse in, I got hook and everything to it.
Damn.
And so with that mentality and that motivation and momentum, man, we did the last project, the recording part, of course, because, the process of writing, that takes a little while, a couple of days. But we knocked out and recorded the whole album in one day from 10:30 a.m. to probably about 4 p.m., 5 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah, just came into the house.
Knocked it all out.
Knocked it all out.
How many songs was it?
I think it's like 11.
You knocked out 11 songs in one day.
Yeah. Yeah, nah.
Damn.
I wish, man. You trying to get there for sure. That's the goal, just to, keep feeding the people what they want. But let me see. Let me get you the track. 12. Well, one of them, it's an intro, but, it was 11 tracks for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 11 tracks.
What was that like, kind of, because I've been asking everybody since, we've been dealing with this coronavirus, all this different stuff going on, right? What was it like kind of recording through that? I mean, it didn't take, it was only a one day, I thought it was going to be like a month or something.
I think that's also what motivated us still on the back end. But, I mean, we, all three of us are essential workers. Mm-hmm. So we kind of took that on, not to like, downplay the virus or anything like that, but it's like we're already like, exposed to being serving the public and stuff like that. So, we all stayed getting tested. I just got tested like 2 days ago. Just to.
Did they have to shove that thing all the way up your nose?
Yeah.
They're still doing it like that?
Yeah, they're still doing it like that.
Oh, man, I thought they got one where they didn't have to do that no more.
No, they still do. They still do. So, basically, it did play a part, you know what I mean? But we got in, but that motivated us to get it done quicker, you know what I mean? And then that I think played the biggest part more on the engineering level, because we had to give it to our friend to mix and master it, and then it was just a bunch of notes back and forth, emails, because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't all be at his place, sit at there, and that's the reason why we also recorded at my spot. Like, and thank God I was blessed to like be able to put all the pieces together so we could record at my spot, because every to each his own. Everybody deals with the pandemic differently, and at that point the engineer didn't feel too comfortable with all of us being there, and hey, it's understandable.
For sure.
You know what I mean? For sure, you got to respect people's what they're going through and how they process stuff. So I was like, shoot, we could do it at my spot, and then just send him the files,
Mm-hmm.
and then it worked out. And it was
Technology,
just dope.
man.
Technology, man. God bless technology.
Oh, man.
Thank God for technology, man, because that really had a lot to play with it for sure. And so, yeah, like I said,
How long did the beat making go for you?
for me, like I said, I think I had like, let me see, like
11 full
11
songs.
of them, 11 full songs. I think a little bit less than half of the beats I already had.
So like five or
four
so?
4 or 5 songs I produced like I said within like probably like 2 weeks before recording.
Mm-hmm.
Just off of, like I said, strength of how we play on, like, they had certain samples in their heads,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, yo, they throw it to me and be like, see what you come up with, you know, and then, of course, they'd highlight, like, oh, I like this part of the track or whatever, of the sample, and then I just made it, do what it do, and thankfully they liked my production and how it came out, and they were ready, they were hungry, and they just hopped on it, and it was...
Is that the first time you've ever had a project play out like that? That sounds like a movie to me. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of a project going so smooth.
For sure. I mean, you know, it sounds
That's
smooth
crazy.
just to the engineer. Like I said, but getting it polished was the more of the problem. Just because, you know,
It takes time.
you want to get it to how it sounded, and thankfully we did. We got it, you know, polished how we wanted it, and you know, and hopefully, you know, people are enjoying it, you know, like our immediate friends are all, you know, giving us good vibes, and you know, like they love it. So that's all.
I saw the one where he was rapping on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Rapping on the Golden Gate Bridge.
He was like, it was kind of like he was
Oh
rapping to his
yeah,
phone.
Roddy, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
was that the you worked on? That's the project.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
the
on?
project. Those are
I like
snippets.
that video.
We dropped. Again, getting to the pandemic, coronavirus. We can't go on and put on a full video. You know what I mean? So we can't. Roddy came up with that. Like I believe it was him. Yeah, Roddy came up with that. Just FaceTime videos, like you know, like iPhone camera videos. So he put that together. You know, shout out to him because he's talented as hell. He goes for it. His creativeness is really good. So he
Time
does that.
efficient and
Yeah.
ingenuity like that, man. That's crazy.
So he did that, and then
That's some crazy.
just another thing. He's the one that drew the album cover as well to the
Okay. With
the
like
project.
the four
Yeah,
boxes, right?
Yeah, no. That was a snippet for another track on the
Okay,
project,
okay,
but
okay.
the main project, what is it? The album cover. It's a kind of many cover art, and I love it. It's just basically it's called Downer, so it has basically all your like drugs. You got marijuana leaf on there. You got mushrooms on there. You got a little bag of blow on there, and some pills, and just a lot of other artwork on there, all meshed together in a room. And it just went well with the title of the project, which is Downers.
Yeah.
So that was dope, though. That when I first seen him, he showed it to me. I was like, damn, that's dope. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to him. He put in work. And Biz is a monster, too. His lyricism is dope. Like, when I first heard him kick a freestyle, it was just, you could see, like, the hunger and everything. And I
Yeah.
love that about him.
What
for
do you
sure.
when you're like, because you said like at first I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
my friends. This is my
Yeah,
friends.
no, just
but-
I said that because there's been plenty of times that's happened to me.
100%. Oh
Like,
yeah. That happens.
my boy sings.
My
or
cousin.
my cousin, my brother, whatever. Yeah.
You heard it all before.
And then like some of the times it's good, sometimes it's not. You know what I mean? And this is just one of the times it was great.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
What is it that you like to see though in somebody, like when you're searching out to work with artists? Like, what type of things do you look for? What type of things like make you like, okay, I like that. I want to work with this guy.
Just the passion, and also like maybe seeing something that I thought I'd only see in like if it coming down to the beat, like if they catch that, like one of the things could be like, I don't know, like a background vocal that I put on the beat, or like the certain way I flip something or whatever, or like just like blow my mind and like actually know the sample, because like I said, I like to sample,
Yeah.
but I like to sample some cutty ass stuff, like where it's like like not known. And if they blow me away with by like knowing the sample, then that's already automatic. Like it's like, okay, he's got a love for this, because you can't just like hear that anywhere.
Yeah.
You gotta search for that.
What do you think the most obscure beat you sampled is?
Yeah, that's a good ass question. Shit.
And how did you find it?
I mean, I don't know about hella obscure, but there is some obscure stuff to that genre. Giving out like a little bit of my my
Don't
secret
give out
stuff.
all the game.
Yeah, no, but no,
Don't give out all the game.
But I said it. It's crazy. I've been saying it a lot lately when people ask me. I guess because I'm like kind of moving towards the next chapter. But I was really stuck on Japanese funk.
Okay.
Like 1970s.
I remember you
Japanese.
telling me this like the last time I seen you.
See, so that's how stuck I've been on it. So that's why right now I'm not tripping about saying it, because I'm moving on to the next.
Yeah. Well,
So-
put you know, as an outsider, put me up on some game. Like if I was to just like my intro to Japanese funk, who do I need to see?
Go to Yuji Ono. Yuji Ono spelled Yujiino.
Okay.
And the other one's like Hiro. That one I gotta look it up because I don't know how to say it completely. But it starts with the H. Is another guy. But Yuji Ono for sure.
Okay.
That's how I got it. And then just to bridge the gap on how I got there is just for the love of music, of course, but searching for this one track that I was like, I need to know the sample of this beat. It was a J. Cole track. One of my favorite off Forest Hill Drive is 03 Adolescence.
Okay.
And so when I searched that, I found that sample. It was him. It was Yuji Ono with this other lady who was actually singing on the beat, Brazilian lady. But him, it was he. And then I just researched him, and it's just like he has a lot of stuff, big catalog of like stuff, going from just like regular music instrumentation or to like gaming instrumentation. Like you did like the stuff for certain cartoons too, like in Japan, I guess. Like just the intros to the cartoon and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
There's a lot to explore there. So Yuji Ono, I start you off there, I think, because that's where I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you're moving on to like the next chapter, and again, you don't got to give up all your game. But like, like for the future of your sound, like, what are some of your influences? Like, what are you trying to kind of achieve?
I guess right now, I mean, I'm still always gonna bring the hip hop essence of like hardcore, like what would I call it, like known but not known tracks, of course. Like I don't know how to say it, like just that raw hip hop, like NY hip hop, like what I mean, not like newer hip hop. Like I like that element still, but kind of getting more jazzier, more like more vibey.
I always ask you about.
More vibey. I don't know, like
Who's the NY rapper I'm always asking you about?
Oh, Conway.
Conway?
And, West Side Gun.
West Side Gun. Have you heard?
I haven't heard of them now.
They got that kind of old school New York sound, but like kind of in a new wave. They was cool. I was like, okay, he put me onto some new.
Yeah. No, yeah, just the
ain't new,
essence of
but-
hip hop. I like that, like the boom bap and stuff like that. Like I definitely want to keep my beats simple more. Like I guess before I would always be like trying to stack and make them like so much like depth to it, but then it's just like simplicity is key. Like that wins all the time. Like that's what I'm learning more now. But for sure, like moving on to like I said earlier, maybe like more influence on my background, my Latin roots, trying to incorporate that. But definitely some vibey stuff, just like some something different, some vibe, but like maybe still have the same hip hop drums to it, but just different samples that aren't really sampled as much.
Is it hard, like, saying that you want to go a little bit more simpler, right? Mm-hmm. Is it hard as like as a producer or even more so as a musician to like be like, okay, I need to stop now, or there's always I feel like it's always like I need to fix this, I need to tweak this, I need to you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like
how do you know when to stop?
Perfection, being a perfectionist it sucks sometimes. Like you know what I mean? Like because you're like and I think it's just more of a mentality you got to go in with now, like that it's never gonna be perfect, so might as well just throw it out. Of course, make it as best as you can.
Yeah.
But like when I hit like a certain like block, that kind of is like it checks me too. Like, oh, maybe it's because I've done all I can, and I gotta just like, and that's all I need. Like, I don't need to add anymore. Even though in my head I think I need to add more, but I don't. It's just more of now it's more of a format situation. Like formatted a certain way so where it drops better and it just comes back in, and it builds up, and that's it.
Yeah. Are you working on another project with them?
Oh, for sure. We already hit the ground running. Like, we already have like stuff lined up for the next thing, and like I said, this project just dropped almost 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
What's your favorite song off the track, off the whole album?
That's hard. So, I'll give you 3, and then not in no order. For sure, I like SZA is a one, because I think I like that one not just because of how they rapped on it, the lyricism, that too, it was dope and it's catchy, but it's like not as sample heavy. I only have one sample in it. It's really just a vocal.
Okay.
But everything else, I like try to do my thing with playing it out, like the bass and all that, and all the sounds and everything. So that's why I like that one. SZA and let me see, I like OD, because OD is that hip hop, like straight hip hop, like feel. Okay. Like it's straight up, and it's a deep track for my homie who rapped on it, for Roddy. So I like that, like the whole meaning and everything behind it. That's dope. And let me see. Let me look at the track list, because I know I'm gonna mess up. Like, I like all of them. I mean, not just because they're mine, but I like all of them.
You ever feel like you'll ever try to do something with no samples where it'll all be you?
Yeah, I want to. But
Yeah.
I feel like my first step is which is gonna be my next step, is to actually master like the piano, something like that, so I could like emulate anything else, any other instrument, basically. If I knew the piano, I know, right? Now I might need some more extra help with that. Like, I can't do it because I've tried already, like a YouTube U, but
I gotta link you up with my guy Bennett, because he bruh, I've seen him.
Hell yeah.
I saw him live, and I'm gonna talk with him this week. Actually, I'm gonna see him. But I watched him play piano live, like jazz piano,
Nice.
and rap while he's playing jazz
dope.
piano. Like, he's that dope. I was like, damn, bro, you're really amazing, dog. Like, the skill you gotta have to do that.
That's another thing. Like, I'm like, I don't think I'd even be able to do it. Like, I'm like so like focused on one thing. Like, I see
hard.
people that do that they like sing while they're playing piano. I'm like, I hope to get to that level one day.
There's a few songs I could play around with, but not like nothing major. You know what I mean?
No, but definitely though, that's what I gotta do. Definitely that's the goal, at least to try it. I don't know if that's gonna work for me or not. Like I said, now that I'm growing more into it, I know that, like the sampling is my thing. Like, a lot of people told me that, and the way I make it, I guess I do what I do, and they love it, so I can't even complain, and it's what I love. So, but it definitely, there's always that conversation of people that sample, like, oh, you just sampling, whoop whoop. But I mean, it's a lot of work too. Once you get the sample, it's not just getting the sample. Like, it's how you tweak it, how you flip it, everything. Like, you really, you can mess that up.
It's
too.
like cooking.
Yeah, you can mess
it's
that
for
up
real
too.
like cooking.
Yeah, just because you got all the instructions on the box don't mean it's gonna come out good. You know what I mean? So
That's for
basically,
sure.
but no, definitely that's one of my goals, is to get a whole on production, no sample, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I've done it before. I've done it, but it's not as great as my sample stuff. But it'll get there.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
practice.
Definitely.
For sure.
I mean, shoot, YouTube helped me a lot. Like, I had a couple guitar lessons when I was younger, and I think that helped. Like, once you know one instrument, I feel like it translates to everything, which is like,
that's what people tell
back
me.
to Ryan Leslie. I
Yeah.
think like that's why he kind of flows so nice with everything that he does.
Oh my God, he's a beast. He need to come back. I mean, I don't know.
You know his
Irina. That song is so dope.
I love that song.
I remember I was
I'm gonna slap that on the way home.
Yeah, I feel like everybody that produced at that or loved music either way was on that like whole vibe when he first came out, dropping those YouTube videos of like just
Gibberish.
production, gibberish, addiction, all that stuff, like making all
He's
these
filthy,
beats,
boy.
Yeah, and it was just dope. That for sure inspired me, and that's I was like, okay.
That was like I think I was in high school when that was like going on, right?
I was like,
like
07.
07. I graduated 07.
Yeah, I graduated 06, but so it was like right after high school for me. It was like 07, 08
Okay.
when it happened. So
Yeah.
definitely.
That was early in YouTube, because I mean, shoot, what YouTube started in what, like 2004, 2003 or something, like
Around that time, yeah.
Because I remember, like, I still remember the first thing I seen on YouTube on a phone. This kid in my class, this Korean kid, he was looking up Bruce Lee on his phone. I was like, damn, that's hella funny.
Yeah, it's
But
it's
that
crazy now that you look
the
back at it.
second thing I
like,
seen was, I'm not even gonna talk about it, but you know,
no, that's definitely crazy though, because like remembering back when none of this like existed, like YouTube.
he was
Shoot,
early
like
on it though.
no touch screens back in the day in high school. I had a flip phone, like it was
Yep.
crazy, like or a BlackBerry. Like there's no-
Sidekicks, remember the sidekick?
I had a sidekick too. All that, like it's crazy thinking back on it now. Like I'm like, damn.
I had my first phone, man. The first cell phone I got, I think I lost it in the first week that I had it.
Damn.
Dude, and that was when cell phones were like hell expensive.
Hella bread.
Oh man, I got in so much trouble. I got worked for that.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh
Shit.
man, I lost it at the beach too. I remember it. We were setting off hella fireworks at the beach up at Ocean Beach.
Oh shit.
Oh man, and then we were running because I was like, oh shit, we out.
Yeah.
And I lost it. I was like, damn it. Oh.
Fuck.
Those are, but yeah, he really took advantage in those early days before anybody really knew what YouTube was gonna be like.
Exactly.
He was basically vlogging his
Before blogs
his production,
were,
his
before,
producing and everything. It was
before
it was
they were a
tight.
thing. Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
For sure. I might even go watch some videos tonight. For sure.
Go down memory lane.
Hell yeah.
So, do you like I think was I talking with you, Charlie, about like when sometimes you can listen to music, right? And it'll take you back to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, do you have those things like where you're listening to something and it'll bring you back to like making a song, like, oh, that's the song that inspired me to make my song like this.
Definitely. I got a couple of those joints.
Yeah.
Like where I just try to emulate what they did, and just break down formula, and it's practice, so might as well.
Yeah.
Like.
Do you have a formula, or is it kind of different every time?
It's different every time. I mean, I look for the sample first, and like I said, a sample, and then once I find that sound that I like, you know what I mean, just deal with that, and then just add the drums, and then just basically EQ the sample to where I want it to sound and how I want it to come about and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like going trial and error through my sound kits to see what sound actually, marries the beat in the sample, and not just putting just anything on there, because you gotta have that vibe.
Have you ever tried to sample with records?
No,
Or like blend songs together with records?
as in records, you mean like a vinyl? Like I did like early on. With my homie, he had an MPC.
Yeah.
So that's the way we would throw in the samples through a record player into the MPC, and we chopped up samples there. I'd give it up to that because I've done it, but it's a hard process.
Imagine,
and then I feel like
imagine in the 80s, the first people just had two record players there and was like, all right, well, let's see if I could blend this together, you know what I mean? To start, like, that was the origination of sampling, you know?
I've done that too with just like samples too. Like I'll take the melody of this, and then I'll add a vocal from another sample for sure.
Yeah.
I've done that for sure. And sometimes it marries together, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's like, nah, I take that off and then just leave it for another beat, and then another beat comes out of that. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But definitely. The creativeness is crazy. Like, there's so much ways to go with music.
What do you do when you're working on a project, right? And you're at a fork in the road where it's like, man, I could do it either this way or this way. Do you ever try to play both out, or do you usually try to take a direction and just stick with that side?
That's when it comes down to my feel of the day, like how I feel that day, like what kind of record I want to make. But also, there's been some tough calls where I'm where I don't know how I feel like that day, like which way I want to go. And, I'll text somebody else like, yo, how do you think this shit should go? Like, you know, like for my main people, like, you know, that I trust in their judgment and everything. And then sometimes I'll take their advice, sometimes I won't.
Yeah.
But, you know, definitely like, you know, weigh out what it is. But yeah, it's hard sometimes. That's for sure.
Yeah. I bet, because, like, I've played around with it a little bit, and I'm like, man, should I do it like that way? Or I could do it like that way? I'm like, oh, I could do it like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, man, it must be so hard to just stick to one and not, you know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like sometimes it almost drives you insane a little bit.
It is.
You know what I mean?
And I've definitely, too, been guilty of, like you said, take that beat and flip it twice.
Yeah.
I've definitely, like, actually, one of the beats in this, I did it before a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And totally different vibe. Totally different vibe. I don't, you know, I for sure picked this vibe over that one. But they're both cool, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
As my opinion, this one's better. But I did that one, like, yeah.
Do you ever do a beat and then you think back on it, or like maybe you didn't finish it, right? And you think back on it and you're like, oh man, it should have went like this, and switch it all the way up like that?
Oh yeah. I've done that where, like, as of late, sometimes like when I get stuck and I can't find a sample, I'll be like, yo, let me dig on like the beats that I've been made, and then especially like the ones that I've done when I wasn't like so gamed up on like how to use my FL Studios, and I came back and like redid the whole thing. I cleared everything out, all the drums, everything. I just let the sample, and sometimes even like went with a different part of the sample, and made some good shit off of that, like for sure.
What do you think? You think off the last project that you did, you think they would let us give a little sample, play a little bit of that song on the show?
For sure, yeah.
All right, we'll throw one of those in. We're gonna cut to that real quick, and we're gonna be right back. All right?
Yes, sir.
Nomadic.
Yes, sir.
And we back. I think I like them both, man. That's a tough call between those two. I don't know which one I like more. I think I liked the entirety of John Hancock. I think that one.
Yeah, that was vibey for sure. I think that was that was the last one.
Yeah.
That was the last song we did on the project.
Okay.
For sure, and it was because
The finish line.
I made that beat and I put it as a snippet on IG. You know, they follow me. We folks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I know I remember, I think the exact one of the exact comments, it was Roddy. He was like, "Really? After we done wrapped up the project already?" And I'm like, "Hey, we can still do it." Like, you know what I mean? And then, bam! Like 2 days later, they was ready, and they came back into, and they did it. So, going back to it, we did make the whole album in one day, but that last one we brought it back because it was like, because it just out of nowhere. And
that one
like,
was fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank
You probably
man.
was like, "No, we gotta add this energy on it."
Yeah.
That was like what, the third song on the
Yeah,
project?
I think third or fourth. Yeah.
That's like the in baseball. What is that? The the cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
when you put the banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the third one.
How do you go about formatting your songs? Like, how do you know, for you, like when you're putting a project together, how do you know what order to put the tracks in?
Man,
you know what I mean? Because that's
an
art in of itself too.
I know certain formats, but then it's also like getting with the artist and doing it, because they definitely like they see certain things that I don't see. And that's why it's all love. Like I'm able to that we have that like creative space, like,
and that probably goes vice versa too.
And respect that, like what they say, and I mean, like, you know, they know when to drop it and when not to drop it, and basically, yeah, like I learned a lot from that with them too. Like, you know, like going back to it being simple, like maybe just have the sample drag the first few couple of bars and then drop the drums in, or come full blown right from the gate, like, you know, just all drums and all the whole sample, and then when it comes to the chorus, just take everything out and it just be the sample for that.
I think that's what I liked about the second one, that little switch up you did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
mentioned that.
I was like,
yeah.
okay. I like when songs do that. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
and I'm getting more confident in that, because at first I wasn't confident in that, because I'm like, is it too rough of a transition?
Did the tempo change too?
Nah,
Or
nah. The
tempo was
tempo's
all
the same.
right?
It was just a different. In that part, it was a different part of the sample.
Mm-hmm.
That was more like low key than the chorus where it's hyped up, and that's
Yeah.
how mostly I format too. Like, of course, you want that chorus to be hyped up because that's what people are gonna remember. That's what they're gonna first start singing.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the verses, you know what I mean? So that's some of the that's kind of the fundamentals of my formula is like make sure the chorus is really hyped up there. But I've also, because like I said, learning with them, I learned that the chorus doesn't have to be that hyped up. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes smooth ass choruses with no drums or nothing on it is key, you know, so you could really get that message across and there's nothing clashing with it.
Yeah, there's
So-
some clarity to it. Almost.
Exactly.
You know
So
what I
you
mean?
hear the message.
You know, are you a big? Do you write too?
I used to, not too much now.
Like as a producer, or are you more of a fan of when the people do have the choruses all laid up first, so they kind of have like a theme or like an idea for the
Yeah,
song, or
yeah,
do you
no.
like it
For me, you know, for sure, I like choruses for sure. Like
first?
that's the theme, yeah.
Do chorus first and
I
then
mean, it doesn't have
verse?
to come first, but I mean, I like choruses, and it's crazy. There's a situation with them, and we now it's like an inside joke or whatever, because they like gassing like no chorus at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I first met them. Like in a couple of the first joints we ever did on their earlier projects, there's like no choruses, and then they became like an inside joke. Where it's like, oh man, y'all can't do choruses, huh? And they're like, no, we got it. We just ain't, because they were, you know, they have their own direction they want to go. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of like not cliche, but like cliche. Like everybody has choruses in their raps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then,
And the
and
songs.
not everybody's
And then-
following that same.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
verse,
why I respected it when
verse, chorus, you
I
know,
respected
verse.
it when they were. I respected it when they were like, nah, there's no chorus on this shit. There's no chorus. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh shit. But there's definitely certain times where I'm like, I'll like tell them, like nudge them, like, nah, this needs a chorus, man. You gotta have something
To tie
and
it
I
all
think
together.
that's what we came to with this project. This project has the most choruses, I believe, in
Yeah.
like the entirety of us working.
Yeah.
And then, so that's for sure, you know, growth in both parts, you know what I mean? And, you know, but I still, like I said, I respect, you know, when they didn't have choruses because they were just gassing. And that was dope as fuck, too.
That
And it's still dope as fuck, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I mean, sometimes we have choruses already ready and sometimes we don't. It'll be the last thing.
It's kind of like your
Yeah, it's just the
your
vibe.
s-
It's,
it's
the
like your
mood.
style for making the beats too.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit different.
Yeah, and then, like, if they have, like, if they, like, lay out a verse, we'll just, you know, dissect the verse and be like, that's what the theme is, so that should be more put into the light of the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about like cadence.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about his cadence, but what do you think about the cadence of like? I'm not gonna front like I haven't even like really been listening to too much like the new school rappers like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm almost out of touch a little bit. I don't know how in touch you are kind of with like the people
I'm
now.
kind of, I could probably be almost the same as you. Like, of course, y'all hear it, but like, yeah, some of them really known, like right now, new school rappers, not really. Like, I think the only one that I really like will listen to, and I still haven't really listened too much of him, is Roddy Ricch. That's the
Okay.
only dude. But he's dope. Like, you
Yeah,
know what
I
I mean?
like
Like,
him.
he's different, and then that's off the strength off of Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Like, that him, and then, like, his other boy that he did a project with was Bino. Bino's sick, too. You know, they kind of follow under mumble a little bit, but they got an actual message, too.
Yeah.
It's not really full mumble, but it's that cadence of mumbling, kind of. But, like, you really gotta give them a chance. But there's other guys, I'm like, nah. Like, I can't
Who's some
do
of
it.
those type of guys? Who you heard where you're like, nah, I ain't fucking with that.
Fuck.
Let's throw them under the bus.
Nah, I don't even like.
One day they
I
gonna
don't
be like,
even know
oh, it's
that-
like that,
I
bro.
don't know, but I don't even know their names like that. That's how like not like on it that I want to be. That's what like I don't even
Yeah.
like.
I feel like I got to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on with the
Oh,
young.
me too, definitely because it's
I've
like,
been
I
paying
can't-
attention with like the Bay Area rappers. Like I was hearing some dude.
Oh, yeah.
man.
Like,
It was on Thizzler today.
Yeah, my favorite Bay Area rapper right now is it has to be local. Like, and he's getting to a point where he's not even local. Like he's at that point where he's like getting away from local. Like he's gonna hit is Larry June.
Okay, yeah.
Larry
yeah.
June is tough, man. Like his
Where's
whole
he at?
vibe. He's from San Francisco, Hunters
Okay.
Point, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, San Francisco.
What's his style? Because we were listening to some
His
of your
shit
beats.
is like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he's motivated me and like influenced me a lot. My last couple of beats is just his is more like laid back, like kind of like just smooth shit. Like, and it's the thing is also what hella motivates me about him and inspires me about him is just like because he's not just talking about the same old shit. Like he has his whole thing. It's like organic. Like, so he's always like talking about juicing and like eating healthy shit and like worry about like your health and stuff like that. And it's like I don't know. Not that I could think of any like other.
I like Rex Life Raj.
I think I've heard
You
that name, but I haven't heard.
He does kind of like a R&B hip hop Bay Area style. Man, he fly.
Nice.
That's about like and I wouldn't even say he's like really like new school because I think he's like our age.
Okay.
But he fire. I like his shit. He's
I think
very
Larry
melodic.
I think
very
Larry June's
melodic.
out like 29 or 30 or something like that. He's
Yeah.
around our age too.
I feel like the age of like rappers, like don't get me wrong, there's still like the super young rappers, but I feel like there's rappers nowadays that are like 35, 40. I mean, like how old is Jay-Z? Jay-Z's got to be like 45 or something.
Yeah, gotta be 50.
Yeah.
Like 45, 46.
Like how old Drake's like what, 35?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
for
feel like
sure.
I don't know. Is there a new lane for music for hip hop artists? Like is there an older, more grown up hip hop now?
I think
and
so. Like, cause
is it
damn,
like
look,
a new,
like
new two different
not,
things
like,
now?
No, it's yeah, it is because it's like right now. Look, Nas just dropped the album, and it's like dope as fuck. Of course, it's produced by like the newest, like it's by Hit Boy, but like we needed that. Like that's like I don't know. That's like a breath of fresh air. Like you know what I mean. Like especially for me because like I'm like in the middle. Like like he's like a little older rapper, but like like I'd rather he listen to him than anybody else right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and especially because I grew up like being a Nas fan, not a Jay-Z fan.
Okay.
Shout out to Jay-Z though. Like, Jay-Z's dope as fuck too. But I mean, when that whole battle was going, it was always Nas. It was like Tupac, Biggie's Tupac, but Nas, Jay-Z, it's Nas for me. It's like that
Growing
side.
up, were you more of like? Did you like what East Coast hip hop more than West Coast hip hop?
I didn't get into
or
East
rap.
Coast.
I would say
I didn't get into East Coast hip hop till high school.
Yeah.
It was all West Coast. It was all West Coast for me for sure.
So who would you say, Big or Pac?
Oh, for sure, Pac.
Okay,
for
thank
sure. Yeah, for sure, Pac. But
I love Big,
but Big is
Pac's
dope
like-
as fuck. Like when I got into Big after like the whole situation of like not giving a fuck about this West Coast East Coast thing, it's just hip hop as a whole.
Yeah.
Definitely a pioneer and is like one of the dopest out for sure in hip hop.
I think a lot of that was kind of like manufactured stuff too
Oh,
to
yeah,
sell records.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Which is unfortunate because, bro, like, I only wonder like the trajectory of rap where it would have went if Pac was still alive. Like, would the rap that's going on nowadays, would he allow that to happen? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or would he
That's-
even have been relevant anymore? Would he have fallen off like
That's
kind of
what I
like
was thinking.
DMX or something?
Yeah.
I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I always think too. I was like, man, like who would have known if like Pac would have been that big if he would have still stayed alive?
I think that's kind of like the when you think of like people like Tupac or like Bruce Lee or like James Dean or Jimi Hendrix or Amy Winehouse. You know what I mean? The idea of who they would have been, who they would have grown into, is always kind of like
Shit, even in the freshest one, Nipsey Hussle.
yeah, exactly.
Like Nipsey's like even
it puts
though
him like
even
a
though,
godly status almost.
even if you he dropped like 10 tapes, but this Victory Lap was his first ever album like on on the full platform and everything like that. It's like damn, bro, like he was just like cut off like in his prime, like not even in his prime. I think it was like achieving his prime. Like this was like, you know what I mean? Like if 50 Cent would have died right after making Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what the hell? We wouldn't have gotten everything else.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, that's crazy, like, to me, to think, like, in that perspective, like, I'm like, bruh, like, or how many, like, tracks or, records are in a vault right now that, that he's just halfway through that he didn't complete, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crazy. A bunch of artists get cut down short, bro. It's wild, especially in rap.
Yeah.
Oh man. you know, XX,
Mac,
Tentacion,
yeah. Then what's it called? Mac Miller,
Mac, yeah, man, Mac Dre, shit.
Mac
I
Dre
mean,
too.
he wasn't
Shit.
hella young, but you
Yeah,
know,
no,
he
but I
was,
mean, I think it was.
nah, he was older than that because didn't he serve like he served 5 years and then came out and did all of his albums.
You know, he was like 30.
Yeah, he was like 34, I think.
Yeah, you're right, 34.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be us soon. I mean, I wouldn't say that's super young, but it ain't old. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, it ain't.
ain't
It
old.
ain't at all.
It's like, why is I got to be part of the culture? It's fucked up.
Yeah.
37. Yeah. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Man. Well, if you had to, you know, if you had to be remembered, bro, how would you want to be remembered in hip hop, bro? What do you want your
that's
legacy?
tough, man.
What are you shooting for? What do you want? You know, what do you want people to feel about Nomadic, bro? 20 years.
Just the soulfulness of my music. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't even like. Of course, want to see how I could add to the culture as well. Like a J Dill, like he brought unquantized like drums, like a certain style. You know what I mean? DJ Premier with the scratching on the you know, on his beats and stuff like that of different like, you know, tracks, you know, to make it, you know, or, you know, stuff like that. I for sure want to like have my one thing like that. But then just people to enjoy my music, man. Like to get that feeling, like how you were saying earlier, like you ever heard a song that takes you back to a time and place? Definitely want to have that more than anything.
That nostalgia.
Yeah, like even like my whole thing going in. I mean, it's kind of changing now, but like I wouldn't even mind being a one-hit wonder. Like as long as I have that page in history that I was there, I'm good with that. But I mean, of course,
we gotta get
but
you.
of course
Come
now,
on,
like I said,
come
but now, of course now, like it changes. Like as a young cat, that's
you
what
don't
it
want
was.
that 15 minutes. You want the whole hour.
Yeah, I know,
Come
right?
on.
I know, but as a kid, like I said, that's how it started. And then now that I'm more in, I'm like, yeah, you want that longevity.
Yeah.
Make sure like you put out a couple of albums, couple of, you know,
100%.
wild tracks. You know what I mean? For sure. And I just want to be able to work with the people that I admire and like, you know, that I fuck with, like musically, just as a listener.
Top 5 of who you want to work with.
Shit, it
Before we
was
get you outta
Nipsey
here.
before, you know, that he got cut down short. Top 5, J. Cole, Nas, Jay-Z, DMX, even though, like, you know, like
We might be able to make
is-
that work.
DMX is dope. And then, shit, E40, just to keep it local.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just to keep it local. I mean,
That's a cool little list. I like
yeah.
that. I like that.
yeah, for sure. Like, yeah. That'd be it. So, Jake, yeah.
So you just have you got that Downers album out. It's
Yes, sir.
been out for like about a week now.
Week and a half. Like,
Week and a
about to
half.
be 2 weeks in. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Are you even in create mode or are you kind of in just chill mode?
Oh
Like,
yeah. I mean, of course I chill for a little bit, but like definitely trying to get in there and create more content for sure.
yeah. What do
As
you
far
got
as with the
cooking?
group too, like we for sure got some in the works already for the next project. You know, just try to keep the momentum going. So look out for that soon.
You gonna have that again in 2 weeks or what?
I know, right? Nah, hopefully, you know, I never know. I'm not gonna say no, but you know, let's see how it goes. You know, how the creative juices flow and just get it done.
Hell yeah, man.
But no, definitely always creating. I'm just the type of person also, like I haven't mentioned it yet, but like I'm a producer that it has to be organic. Like I can't go in, you know how you hear people like, oh, I wasn't, you know, and I made 5 beats one day. Nah, it's like I'd rather make one beat that's like
That's fire.
and that I feel it and I like it and like, you know, in the mood on it, and then 5 beats that I'm just challenging myself just to make a beat. Like, yeah, nah.
Yeah. Some people, they could just go in there and knock beats out. Like,
Yeah.
just, oh, there it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, I mean, shit, don't get me wrong. Some
No, I've done that before.
some
but
crazy bangers just show up on the first go. But
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the real songs with depth to it. You know what I mean? It takes
time.
It's like a painting. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of
Exactly.
It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of skill. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Well, shit, brother. It was dope having you in here.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Let everybody know where
loved
they
it.
can find you, brother.
All right, so
All social media,
all social media,
everything.
Yeah, Instagram would be Nomadic NOMADIC _ on the beat. So Nomadic on the beat. Nomadic on SoundCloud as well. Also, let's see, usually just on IG and SoundCloud, and then just check out the project that's just on all platforms, on Spotify, Apple Music, Dxwners by RPSB. And,
That's
yeah.
DX.
Yeah, spelled DXWNERS.
Yes.
So no O, it's an X instead of an O, so Dxwners.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Give that a
Appreciate
listen. We'll throw some music on here.
Thank
Everybody go check them out on all the social media and everything. Give it a listen. Show some love.
Appreciate it. Thank
It's
you.
your boy GM Talkingshift. Like, comment, subscribe, show some love. And like, if you don't listen to podcasts or whatever, you probably didn't get to this part. But like, if you did, if you know somebody that listens to podcasts, just be like, hey, bruh, I got this podcast I've been listening to.
For sure.
And it's tight as hell. And you should check it out. Because we would really appreciate it. It's your boy GM. I was here. Nomadic.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, as always, with me every time.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Talking
Appreciate
shift, bruh. We out.
it. Yeah.